AITA for refusing to make my son cut his hair to be in my brother's wedding? Bear with. This is my first post. My 15-year-old son was asked in January to be the flower dude in my brother's wedding, which will be end of this month. Since then, my STBSIL has made frequent comments to my son along the lines of, "So what are we going to do about this hair?" Quote, "He has thick, curly hair that he's been growing out for a little while now. He's got a goal photo we've been showing to his hairdresser. A couple weeks ago I texted my brother to let him know that we will groom and style his hair and use product to tame it, but I was not going to make him cut his hair. At that time, my brother said that was fine. Then he told me his fiancée wants to take my son to her hairdresser for a trial run on his hairstyle. Side note. Won't go into the entire history, but I've had issues with her need to dictate and control. Including one time she told my brother he couldn't accompany my son to the for stitches unless she could go too. I told him I'd make sure we did the trial run on my son's hair. He then wrote that fiancé wanted final approval. I said I'd make sure he looked nice on their wedding day. Then a few days ago my stepfather wrote my son, telling him he would not be getting fitted for his tux until his hair was cut. His exact words were, "No decent haircut. No tuxedo fitting. You will not be in the wedding but seated in the general audience with your family. That is the result of no haircut. Got it?" My mother is also firmly on the haircut side. She feels I should make my son cut off his hair because it's a very formal wedding, and claimed we should have known that was the rule from the beginning. I finally texted her back and stated had we been told that was a condition of being in the wedding, my son could have declined then. Instead he was subjected to several months of passive-aggressive remarks until I finally addressed it. So now it's really blown up. At this point we aren't even going. Because to me, kicking family out of a wedding party for refusing to alter his appearance when he has had this hair for years is ridiculous. My family thinks I'm unreasonable for not forcing my son to cut his hair. Am I the asshole? NTA. I truly don't understand people who think that the fact that they are getting married imbues them with some sort of power to dictate the hairstyles, hair color, tattoos, etc. of other people. Your son is doing them a favor by being in their wedding. You are doing them a favor by attending their wedding. Why are they acting like they're the ones doing you a favor? They are putting their feelings about a dumb haircut over family. Don't let them convince you that the roles are reversed. ETA. If any of them had a sense of humor, there's a great solution here. Just fully embrace the flower boy role and give him a flower crown to wear over his thick, curly locks, preferably with ribbons trailing on the back of it. NTA. Bridezilla needs to get over herself. I wouldn't go to the wedding either. This is a very ridiculous situation. If I had a nephew I loved, I'd want him in my wedding regardless of what he looked like. Poor kid. Tell him his hair is awesome. NTA. It sounds like they've been hating on the hair for a while and this is their chance to fix it. Go you for sticking up for your son. Take you all as you are or they don't get any of you. NTA. I would have responded, lol, to Gramps if he sent such a MSG. NTA. Good for you to sticking with your kid. Sorry to say, your family and family-to-be are toxic control freaks. At this point, I'd opt out of the wedding entirely. But that might be too extreme for you. But giving in to this entitlement just feeds it more. Holy Bridezilla. Batman. Seriously. Why on earth people get the idea that it's okay for them to dictate a semi-permanent change? In as much as once the hair's cut, that's it. You gotta wait months, years for it to regrow that length again. For the privilege of attending their wedding. Sheesh. Personally, I'd be horribly tempted to rock up as a family in casual suits and wild hair colors at this point. But that's probably not diplomatic. And so not attending might be the wiser choice. NTA. NTA, you are an awesome parent and keep standing behind your son. NTA, he's 15 not 5. He gets to choose his own hairstyle. NTA, long hair on men being seen as informal is such a double standard. As long as it's kempt, then it is appropriate. The bride asked him to be in the wedding, fully aware of what he looks like. This is akin to brides asking their bridesmaids to color their hair, or otherwise alter their appearance, to fit the aesthetic they're going for. Don't ask people to be in your wedding if you are going to nitpick the way they look. Period. NTA. You know who's going to remember the flower boy's hairstyle after the wedding? Literally no one. NTA. Asking your son to get his haircut is something that can take months or even years to grow back. You can't ask him to bear all that so they can have his hair look the way they want for just one day. Also, if someone talked to my son the way they talk to yours, they'd have much bigger problems than some kids' hair. Hold your ground. Don't even go to the wedding. You are his father and supposed to fight like a wounded tiger for your son. Don't you dare give an inch. NTA. Your bridezilla STBSIL and your parents are being unreasonable and ridiculous. Bridezilla knew what your son looks like when she and your brother asked him to be in the wedding. If they aren't okay with his look, with a reasonable amount of styling, they should not have asked him to be in the wedding. No bride and groom get to mandate anything that can't be immediately undone after the wedding. NTA. Tell your whole family, including your STBSIL. Let's be honest. FSTBXSIL. That you and your son see that they think so little of him that they are petty enough to be willing to exclude him over a haircut. Forcing a teenager to cut his hair is cruel, and not being a parent of said child makes your relatives' involvement inappropriate. NTA. Bridezilla and her lot can sit and spin. I would get your son a blowout a la Sebastian Bach and sit with the family in Gen Pop if you end up going. Edit. Alternate option would be to cut it and dye it some obnoxious color like electric blue. However, I'm sort of a petty asshole like that. So this is a major sticking point for me personally. My older brother has always had very thick curly hair and he wore it long throughout his teen years. People have him shit near constantly. It's BS and it makes me angry. NTA. You still to be need to stay in her own damn lane. Don't like his hair? Fine. Don't have him be in the wedding. But everyone taking this as an opportunity to pressure him to change something about his appearance because they don't like it? They can all F all the way off. Major kudos to you for standing up for your son. Stay strong. NTA. Just tell your brother you'll catch his next wedding where they don't expect people to modify their bodies. NTA. Forcing children to have their hair cut against their will is a form of abuse. Anyone supporting this does not have your child's best intentions at heart and are coming from a place of selfishness. Remember, a wedding is one of the most important events of a person's life. For them. For everyone else it's just another pain in the ass. NTA. I wouldn't go either. How dare they think they can dictate something so personal? At that age my son had shoulder-length Atlantic blue hair and I wouldn't change it because someone else wanted it changed. Getting married doesn't give you some kind of agency over what other people do to their bodies. I'm appalled by how many posts I've read on here about people thinking they're entitled to police how others look because it's my wedding. Like, okay? And it's their body? What's your point? Please keep your son safe from them and their entitled nonsense. NTA. You are absolutely correct. I have a teenager with mega curly, thick and wild hair. My rule has always been that if you take of your hair, you can wear any way you want. And I wouldn't go to wedding either.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.